Welcome to CivilNet. My guest today is Syuzanna Azoyan. She's the program director of the WCIT 2019. The Congress is one of the largest and the most prestigious ICT events taking place in the world. It will take place for the first time in Armenia and in the region in October 6 to 9, 2019. Welcome, Syuzanna.
Thank you very much for hosting us today, and thank you very much for the opportunity to tell about the World Congress. The 23rd World Congress on Information Technology is a really great event coming to Armenia. This event has been held over 40 years in different countries of the world, and it's a signature event of WCIT, that's the World Information Technology and Services Alliance, that has got representation from more than over 90 countries, representing the 90% of the ICT in the world.
And related to what you just said, how did you manage, knowing that it's a worldwide organization event taking place, how did you manage to have this event in Armenia this time?
We go back to 2014 when the Union of Advanced Enterprise Technologies won the bid, and the idea about the theme of the bid was the power of decentralization. And it's thanks to the theme of the Congress, the power of decentralization, that Armenia won the bid. It's very important to mention here that the event is coming to Armenia for the first time, and it's coming to the region for the first time. And another important event that it hasn't been hosted by any European destination for the last 10 years. So it's the first time for the last 10 years that it's returning to Europe, and it's very important because among other delegates and speakers that we're going to host are going to be many European destinations, not only America, US, Silicon Valley, but also European destinations, as well as the region and the neighborhood. So the power of decentralization, that was the theme, and the whole idea was to tell people that the world is moving towards a decentralized world, and we wanted to show what promise and peril can we face in the decentralized world. Are we ready for that? The idea is that there shouldn't be any centers in the world. The center is where the human being is. The center is where the people are. And startups can appear in the most unexpected places in the world. And this is all thanks to technology. This is all thanks to the internet in the world right now. So that's the big idea behind the theme. And this is why we won the bid, because of the theme.
So the idea is to get rid of the thought that Silicon Valley is the center, but accept the fact that the IT is moving through the world and is not centered in one place, but can become a developing sector in different countries, developed, underdeveloping countries.
Yeah, the idea is to show to the world that there are no specific centers, and that the center can appear anywhere else in the world, but at the same time presenting the sector in Armenia, of course, and telling the world that Armenia is another center, as Silicon Valley is. We can become Ararat Valley any day because we've got minds and we've got startups that appear in Armenia every day, and that are as important as any startup being elsewhere in the world. So the centers are where the minds are. That's the biggest idea, and we should concentrate on a decentralized world versus centralized world. There shouldn't be any peripheries. That's the big idea.
Mm-hmm. And in the case of Armenia, you talked about minds. Would you say that there is a big potential of mindful Armenians in the sector?
I really believe in it, and at the same time, when we're talking about Armenia, we don't only talk about Armenians based in Armenia, but we're talking about the minds that are based elsewhere in the world. We've got a huge diaspora, and all our diasporans are, many of them are involved in the ICT sector, not only in Armenia, but also, for example, in the United States or somewhere else. So basically, it's telling people that we have Armenian minds, and Armenian minds are smart minds, and bringing them to Armenia and having the event to Armenia is one of the most important things to show people that there is another center, and that center can become Armenia.
What are the people or the organizations you are collaborating with?
We're collaborating with a lot of organizations, and again, I have to go back to Armenian diaspora because thanks to our diaspora, we've created a content committee which is very much involved into creating the agenda, reaching out big giants to bring them to Armenia, to present the potential of the country, the promise that Armenia has for the world, for the ICT world. So we've created a content committee which is based in New York, and hopefully you'll hear from them soon. They'll be talking about the event, promoting it in the United States. So besides our content committee, as I told you, WCIT is a signature event of WITSA World Alliance. So one of our main partners in organizing the event is WITSA, of course. And the event is taking place under the high patronage of the Republic of Armenia. So the Republic of Armenia, the government of the Republic of Armenia is very much involved into organizing of the event.
And how many people do you wait for the event? How many people will attend?
Originally, when we started, we thought that the maximum people that we can have as delegates won't exceed 2,000, but we've just started pre-registration. We haven't even started the launch of the sale of the ticket, but we already have more than 2,000 people pre-registered. So we expect 2,000 and more only delegates coming from all over the world. But we're going to have up to 19 speakers and panelists who are going to be VVIP people. All of them are from the ICT sector. This event is very different from other ICT events, and I really want to mention that because this is the event where not only investors come, not only startups come, but this is an event where they all meet to discuss the future of the digital age. So basically, we're going to have government officials, we're going to have investors, we're going to have academics, we're going to have startuppers, businessmen. Like, they're all going to gather here in Armenia to talk about the power of decentralization, to talk about its promise and peril, to talk about where the digital world is moving forward. So that's the most important thing. We're going to create a dialogue, which is going to be the dialogue of government officials, thinking of their digital agendas, of the government digital agendas, and like pure investors, academics, and business people. So.
You're telling about your, you said digital agenda. So what will be the topics? What are the topics that will be discussed during this event? Digital age, what does that exactly mean?
You know, like as I told you, we want the beat behind the theme of the power of decentralization. So the umbrella discussion is going to be the power of decentralization. But of course, we're going to talk about cybersecurity. We're going to talk about risk management. We're going to talk about smart cities. The themes will include also connecting the next billion. And I think that another thing that I really want to mention is that we're going to talk about environmental issues, how green is silicon. This is another topic that I want to mention, which is going to be very unique to WCIT 2019.
So how can technology bring more a green
environment? Exactly. Yeah, right. Exactly. I don't want to open much right now, but you can, people can follow us on social networks to learn more about the agenda, about the topics that we're going to talk, and as well as get more information about speakers that are going to come and panelists. But yes, we're going to have some really interesting themes never been discussed before. And another thing that I want to mention when talking about digital agendas, there will be a ministerial summit that will be held within the framework of the WCIT. This is something happening every year, hosted by different countries, but we're also going to host a lot of ministers from the region and from the world, and we'll announce on the topic of the ministerial summit shortly.
So it's a worldwide event becoming local in some way, let's say. For Armenia, for example, what are the benefits of this event? What will be the result that you're expecting from this event for the country?
Yeah, it's an international event, as said again, but for us, for Armenians, it's a platform to showcase the product that we have, to showcase our minds and to showcase the country, and to tell the people that, you know, the next center may be Ararat Valley versus Silicon Valley. But what we're gonna should present and what we can do is, and as mentioned, we want to invite all those people, and it's not only about internationals, but also diaspora Armenians involved in ICT sector, never been to Armenia, never considered Armenia. We want to create that dialogue between international diaspora Armenians and local Armenians. Of course, one of the biggest things will be to present Armenian community, to present Armenian ICT world, and why not to present Armenia as a destination, as a tourism destination, as a hospitable destination. And
so it's a set. It's
like a set.
A good PR for the set.
It's yeah, of course, for the event we're going to increase the awareness of the country in different aspects, in education, in ICT, in tourism, in every single aspect. and people. So yeah, we're going to tell the world about the people of Armenia.
It totally matches with the program of Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan and his idea to develop the IT in Armenia to grow the economic situation in Armenia, right?
Yeah, exactly. One of the most important things.
Thank you very much, Syuzanna.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching and continue to follow CivilNet.